Hi there, my name is Elsie Kayugira and welcome to Child of Mine. At Child of Mine, we tackle issues parenting, its challenges and its triumphs. From infant to toddler, teen, young adulthood up to adulthood. At Child of Mine, we believe that children are unique, all of them are unique, and there's no one method of parenting that fits it all. However, we believe that by sharing life experiences from different people and situations, a parent is able to learn a few things on how to guide their child in the right way. We also believe that children are God's before they are ours, and therefore we take guidance and appreciate what the Word of God says about them. If this content speaks to you, please subscribe, watch our videos, like and share. Thank you so much. Hello there, good afternoon. My name is Elsie and welcome to Child of Mine Show. At Child of Mine Show, we talk about issues parenting, its challenges and its triumphs, and we are here to share experiences and knowledge, from experienced people and from the parents themselves. At Child of Mine, here we help you to parent and raise responsible and godly children. Karibu sana. And today you want to talk about physical violence among couples and how that affects children. So with B here is our guest, and she's going to talk more about herself as she introduces herself. Karibu sana.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Elsie. I'm happy to be here. It is exciting to see that we have platforms that we can be able to raise godly generation.
Yeah.
I think that is one of my greatest desires, that we can be able to raise a godly generation. Maybe even before I introduce myself,
Yes.
allow me to just affirm maybe what it is that we'll be conversing today. But society is not the way it is because the society is affecting the family. It is the family that affects society. So when we are able to heal the family, then we will be able to heal
The
society.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when I am doing anything parenting, especially raising a godly generation, I know for a fact we will be able to have children that are well structured, well nurtured, and guided in even being able to relate with God better. So my name is Anne Karambu Mwangi. I am born again. I am a counseling psychologist with a background in nutrition and dietetics. I have also done food science.
Yeah.
I'm an author of books. I've written Talking to Your Child about sex and sexuality. I've written Understanding and Nurturing Your Child, Understanding and Nurturing Your Teen, and I'm also working on dating, courtship, and marriage.
Wow.
So that is the fourth book that I'm working on currently.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. A counselor, a nutritionist, an author. Wow, an all-around woman and mother.
A mother and a wife.
I see. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure having you here. So, Anne, what is domestic violence or physical abuse? Are they the same thing?
Domestic violence, of course, can show up in different shapes. It may not necessarily, the domestic violence may not necessarily involve physical violence.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so it can be emotional violence, which is still violence. It can be abandonment. It can be take the shape of being put down, looked down upon. It may not really be taking the shape of being beaten.
Yeah.
It can also, of course, take the shape of being neglected, not being given resources to be able to take care of yourself. So, but now when we go physical violence, we may now be talking about the actual beating and fighting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I was just researching on the Kenya Demography and Health Survey. About 40% of women who are married have suffered that. And for men, it's 27 or 27.
Yeah.
It means it's something that's common. That's
I'll address domestic violence from two fronts. The first front is as a counselor, understanding what unresolved issues do to us. So sometimes the abuser may not really be wanting to abuse, but there's unresolved pain that they have never dealt with, they did not deal with when they were growing up, and therefore then it is being passed on. It's something automatically being passed on. Maybe Elsie, I'll say that what we call in the church generational curses, it is unresolved stress and pain and trauma. And therefore, because my grandparents were abusive, we were raised in an environment where we saw our parents fight. And therefore, there is no other way I know how to resolve issues rather than by fighting. And because I'm carrying a lot of bitterness, sometimes I'll fight, not because I want to fight, but because of the aggression that comes with pain and bitterness.
Oh, and of course, what you might have seen in the...
And now the same will be passed on to my children.
Oh, no. So what we call generational curses, it's, when you say a curse, it's like something that you can't...
Yes.
You can't...
Undo.
So it's something that can be undone.
Yes, because I can come in with a chain of abusive marriages or abusive family. I'm coming from a highly domestic violent family, but I can choose to heal as an
individual.
So that by the time I'm getting into my own marriage, I have worked on myself to the level that I will not be operating from aggression and pain.
I see.
And therefore, then we can heal the next generation.
I hear you.
The other front I was talking about now is that aspect of our spiritual walk. Remember, when I have not grown up in a godly culture, or my godly culture has been distorted, especially by religion.
Yeah.
What will happen is that I'll find myself following culture, and there are some cultures that will appreciate and accept women being beaten. And it's almost like part of marriage for a woman to be beaten by a man. So when I'm able to say no to those cultural practices, and I am able to separate cultural practices and be able to walk a godly life and begin a godly marriage, then I can be able to counter that domestic violence.
I see. I see. So it begins with someone identifying that and working out to solve the problem. So is it possible to, having grown up in a family, let's say stable or healthy, you didn't witness the domestic, the physical violence between your parents, but still you become violent?
Yes, it's possible, because I'm explaining violence from a point of psychology. When I'm aggrieved, when I'm angry, when I am agitated, when I am carrying bitterness, the best way to handle conflict is fight.
I see. Okay. Well, there are other ways people can...
Most of the times, that is maybe what I will do. So I may have never experienced any violence where I grew up, but then I have other traumas or pains that I went through which are unresolved. And therefore, the only way I know how to throw out that aggression, the greatest challenge with pain, Elsie, is that pain might not hurt people who are away from us. We hurt people close to us. We may be very good people out there. People know us as the best of the best people.
Yes.
But the moment I am interacting with a person, a child, a spouse, that is where all the venom and pain comes out. And that's why I have to be intentional to heal, so that then I don't hurt the very people I love the most.
Yeah.
Allow me to make a controversial statement that even people who are violent physically, some of them really love those people.
Okay.
But they don't know how to express the love because it's mixed with pain.
Okay. I love you, but
Yes.
I physically abuse you.
Yes, I have unresolved issues. There is so much I have not resolved with myself. Because, Elsie, a normal person, I want us to just go to a normal person, because we are talking about godly lifestyle. A person who is born again, a person who has a good relationship with God, a person who has been transformed by Christ. Can that person beat their spouse?
No, I don't think so. I can't.
So the way God has created us, He has not created us to be bad people. But there are circumstances that happen to us sometimes, and we find ourselves in those spaces.
But I've heard of pastors who physically abuse.
The fact that a person is called pastor does not make them godly.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
We are talking about being godly. We are not even talking about being born again.
Yes.
It is a person who has been fully transformed by the work of the Holy Spirit. The Spirit of God indwells in them.
Yeah.
It is the Holy Spirit who instructs their action and character and behavior.
Yeah.
This was what we are talking about. Because and remember I mentioned the aspect of religion and how religion will mess us up in terms of how we behave.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Wow. So if you're transformed, transformation is the word. You have to be transformed as a believer. Okay. Let's just talk about how physical violence affects a child in the home. That child is there witnessing that.
Now let me maybe now paint the picture of what is happening between a mother and a father who are fighting. Who is a mother and a father to a child? This is their support system. This is their identity. This is their security.
Yeah.
This is their assurance, and they are also their hope. For every child, that is who a parent is. Security, support system, hope, safety. Okay. A person I look up to.
Yeah.
This is also the person who is guiding me in terms of moral behavior and character. But according to morality, because every person, the way God has created us, we are able to know good and wrong.
Yeah.
So even a child will be able to see that these people are fighting.
Yes.
So this person that I have placed this high is now the one beating my mother or beating my father, because nowadays now even men are being beaten.
Yeah.
So one, it will affect their identity. Because I was supposed to copy or love my father or be like my mother.
Yeah.
Will I want to be like them?
No.
The next thing, I'll have a distorted view of marriage. Because a marriage is supposed to be a place, a home is supposed to be a place you run to for safety. But then now when it becomes the place where the greatest war and fight happens, it causes confusion in the life of a child. And I'm talking about a child who is below 10. Maybe we'll be explaining a little bit on how it will affect a teenager and a young adult.
Yeah.
Below 10. So already I have a distorted identity. I have a distorted view of family and marriage. I have bitterness, which I can't express because it is my mother and father who are fighting. I cannot go telling other children. Yeah. It is a bad image. I don't want to be seen that way. Yeah. The other one is intense fear. Because if someone can beat up my mother, they can also beat me.
Oh, sure.
So as every time that fight happens, the child is in panic and fear. Intense. And those children on most occasions will always be withdrawn. Even when they are with others in school, they want to be alone. Because the most likely thing if I go to a group is that I might share how my parents fought last night and I don't want to share. So the best thing, shut up.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
Now, consequently, what this child is those years, they may not, these challenges may not really show up in their character and behavior. But as the child progresses to a teenager, they will start having issues of panic attacks, remembering the battles that happen at home. The next thing is anxiety. They become very anxious because they don't know whether my parents one day will die out of this fight that happens every day. The other thing that will happen is depression. Remember, I am withdrawn. I have this pain that is working within me. This I see every single day. This pain, I see it every single day.
So that's a long term?
Yeah.
Long term.
No, we are not long term. We are at teenage.
Okay.
We are at teenage. We are going progressively.
Okay.
We are now at teenage. So the child already is feeling, I don't know how to handle this. And remember, they are helpless, powerless,
Yeah.
hopeless.
Yeah.
Now, around that age, because of the identity crisis aspect, remember, already they have a distorted identity of who they are.
Yes.
So they will have either start acting out with delinquent behavior. So you find them in drugs, you find them in promiscuity. They will look for something to do to take out the pain within.
Okay.
Many of the children, and especially teenagers that we reprimand even in school, most of them, the bigger percentage, have challenges happening at home, and therefore they are just acting out.
Wow.
The pain they see every day.
Yes.
Now, progressing now this child to an adult. By around 2025, now we have depression, anxiety issues. We can progress to bipolar, all that. The other part is relationships. They will really struggle to relate with other people, and especially people of the opposite sex. And the struggle to relate will be two-way. It is either they will overtrust people or they will not trust anyone. Those who overtrust, they will pick and connect with people who are almost close to what they saw their parents do. So on most occasions, they will connect with wrong people.
Okay.
Because I am looking for healthy, somebody who can be able to appreciate me.
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking for someone who can accommodate me. I'm looking for someone at least, maybe they have never even heard the word, I love you, in their life. So this is the first time they are hearing it. And of course, you end up now attracting wrong people. And you can see now long-term it is relationship issues. Now, what kind of marriage relationship will I get into? Almost the same as where I'm coming from in the family. So most likely I'll be connecting with a man or a woman that will be having, again, domestic violence. Do you see where the cycle of generational curse comes? So we may call it curse, but it is a generational trauma.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a cycle one decides to progress. If they don't,
it is not a decision.
If they don't desire to know why they're this way, Amma?
Unfortunately, and I thank God for such conversations happening. It is during such conversations that someone will realize, I think I have a problem.
Yeah.
No, or reading a book or listening to someone talk. That's when they will be able to realize, I think something is wrong with me. But it is not intentional.
Okay.
I am not choosing to choose a wrong person. It is the pain driving me to choose a wrong person.
Wow. Wow. So this thing is serious. It's serious. It can affect, it can go even to the 4th, 5th generation.
Yes, it can.
If it's not settled. So to a toddler, are you able to figure out this one is witnessing abuse in the home?
When you have children, yes?
Yes.
When you pinch a 6 months child, do they feel pain?
Yeah.
So they can be able to identify when violence is happening at home.
Okay.
And one thing that it gives them is insecurity. They feel insecure. They feel like the place, this place I came to is not secure for me. So they will start beginning having trust issues from that young age.
Okay. So a teenager who is engaging in such activities like you've mentioned, what is the highlight? How can you determine like this one is witnessing or has witnessed domestic violence in the home for such a long time? Because there are others who can engage in drug use and abuse, but really there's no abuse in the...
Elsie, I am a counselor.
Yes.
And most of the people that I've interacted with are young people. Again, I'll go back to a normal person, a person who is godly, a person who knows who they are, a person who understands purpose. You will not self-harm if really there is nothing within that is harming. I don't think whether Elsie you understood. If the reason as to why I want to self-harm, because alcohol addiction is self-harming. I am literally destroying my liver. I am destroying my kidneys. I am destroying my digestive system. I am eating poison.
Yes.
So for me to consume poison and think it's very nice. There is some pain I am healing within. All I have a challenge of identity. I don't really know who I am.
Okay.
So and one of the things that robs people of identity is pain.
Pain.
Emotional pain.
Oh yeah.
Abuse, even emotional abuse. Both that experience of domestic violence, abandonment. So from the very time the child is young, you're looking at yourself and you're wondering, why do I even exist? Who am I? So as you progress, anything that would help you numb those feelings of not wanting to connect with yourself, who you hate, you will use. Marijuana, heroin, everything. So one of the things I do when I connect with someone who is in addiction, I don't want to know how they started.
Oh.
No.
I thought you get to the root.
No. I don't want to know how they started taking alcohol. I want to know who they are.
Oh.
Because the drinking alcohol is not that is not the problem. The problem is who they are.
Okay. So they'll know how to
Of course, yes, we are able to, because I only simply need to ask you, tell me about your childhood.
Oh. Mm-hmm. So what happens in our childhood will always come around.
Yes.
What I witness, what I make my children witness will always come around one day.
And it impacts my whole lifespan. If I am not intentional in sitting down, Elsie, and ask, who is Anne? How is Anne here? What has happened to her? How can she be able to heal? Why is Anne very angry? Why is she very aggressive? Remember, I'm asking about myself, not about Elsie.
Yes.
And you realize when we are not self-aware, we are more interested in knowing other people.
Yeah.
We are more interested, in fact, we always blame other people. That is, of course, what happens in most cases of domestic violence. The conversation is, he's the one, he's the cause, he's the one who did this. But on most occasions, we are the problem.
Yes. 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 So yes, of course, you've said a child or a teenager, someone can recover, they can heal
Fully,
They can
100%.
heal. Okay.
But it is a journey. It is an intentional journey. I remember I was talking to one of my clients, and she was telling me anytime she is thinking about coming to my office, she has to start planning like 3 days before. It's a seat, we sit, and most of the time I tell them, you remember that is a crying seat.
Oh, okay.
Because connecting with your child, especially a painful childhood, is work.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
And you have to really be willing to put the effort to heal. Because what happens if I don't heal, unfortunately, it will affect my spiritual journey, it will affect my health, it is going to affect my social life, it will affect how I use finances, affect everything about me. Maybe I can just touch a little bit on the spiritual. I've met people who are not able to believe in God because either maybe they grew up without a father, so they are hearing about a heavenly father. But they have never seen a physical father. Or this physical father who was supposed to be a father either abused them. So reconciling a heavenly father and a father who was absent or abused them, it's very hard. So that person has to heal from that pain caused by the father to be able to reconcile who God is. That is spiritual. Social.
Yeah.
Remember, I have a problem relating.
Yeah.
Either I am looking for affirmation from wrong people, or I am doing things to be affirmed, or I am over-trusting, or I am not trusting people at all. You realize definitely you choose a wrong person in your life.
Yeah.
For
Either a partner or a friend.
Yes.
You know, or even a colleague.
Workmate. Yes, I'll be fighting throughout at work. And remember, relationships is our net worth.
Yeah.
The networks we have
Yes.
is what gives us our net worth. Every single person you meet, Elsie, every single day,
Yes.
you've added your worth. But look at this person who has a problem relating.
Yes.
So they will also be pushing away people that would have been of great help in their life. So have I also affected my finances?
Yes.
The other aspect of finances is that I will do things, I'll purchase things to emotionally heal. I am using money to heal my emotions.
Which is impossible.
Buying a nice car, living in a very expensive house, and just to feel good about myself. And remember, a car cannot make me feel good about myself.
Yeah.
I can only feel good about myself from within. Or spending a lot of money to buy expensive clothes just to feel good. So you see how all those things that it is going to affect, and of course, finally, then you see that is a whole lifespan of that person that has been affected. So now this person gets children.
Yes.
How will they raise them? They will either overcompensate or deny. So again, that child is not whole.
Overcompensate or deny them. So most of these parenting problems come from our past.
Yeah.
Wow. Physically abusive. Look at your past as a parent. Look at your past as a parent. Determine or look for who you are. Identify yourself. Identify yourself. So someone who is not a believer, as a counselor, how would you advise them and they are physically abusive?
Self-awareness is not only for believers. Self-awareness is for everyone. So whether you're born again or not, you can ask the question, why do I behave the way I do?
Yeah.
You don't need to read the Bible to ask that question.
Yes.
Answering the question, have I suffered abuse while growing up, is not a verse in the Bible. So I can be able to ask myself that question. Yeah. Being able to answer the question, why do I carry a lot of bitterness? And answer it and seek healing and opportunity to deal with those things. Because as long as you carry bitterness in your life,
Yes.
it will not only, the closest people who are affected are the people who are next to me. I will be such a nice person out there.
Yes.
And people know me as the best of the best.
Yeah.
But the people close to me, I hurt them deeply.
Yeah. They hate you. So, a teenager, a teenager compared to a child, a teenager, they're in the self-awareness stage, and they're able to, talk. They're able to, speak up for themselves. So this teenager has witnessed violence in the home for those years, and they want to break the cycle. As them.
Yes.
Not for their parents, of course, that can't happen. So in the process of that, because even if I want to break the cycle, I still live with my parents.
Yes.
How do you help that person?
Maybe first is to begin by saying that a teenager, allow me to make a statement that I know might not really be picked very easily. If there is an easy group to work with, it's a teenager.
Okay. That one is surprising.
Yes, they're the easiest group to work with. Remember, they're young. They're coming from, they really don't have a lot of baggage. They're not carrying a lot of baggage. They may have gone through pain, but their baggage is not as much as if I met this teenager while they're adults. So it is just a small span of their life. One of the things I have seen is when the teenager is able to identify the problem.
Yes.
And understand it the right way, and understand the implication that particular problem has in their life.
Yeah.
The healing process is very fast for a teenager. But you must connect with the right person to guide you on the same. I know you asked me for a person who is not born again. I am a believer. I got saved when I was a teenager. So I don't know any other life other than being born again. So I will not give you any recipe that is not God attached.
Yes.
Because I know if I want to really live right, I cannot live right without Christ.
Yes.
Just the other day I was talking to a young girl, and she has gone through so much. And I realized, as we were talking, we are not understanding each other.
Is she in her
2017, 16, 17. And I realized I may not be able to help her with my counseling. So because we had met in a church setup, I knew for sure she knows God and she has a relationship with Him. So I went salvation. So we had to understand salvation from the basics. Then I told her, would you want to rededicate your life to Christ? She did. And immediately we did that. The way she was telling me, oh, it's very, very heavy. I don't think if I can forgive. I don't think if I can let go. The following day, she tells me, guess what? I was able to forgive this. I was able to do this. Guess what?
Wow. It sounds easy.
So it is a fallacy and a lie to imagine that we can live right without God.
Without God.
It is a lie.
It is a fallacy and a lie.
We will really do a lot of work thinking that what we are doing is the right thing, yet we are losing it. So the one who is able to right the wrong in our life is Christ. The Bible in Ephesians talks about that we were dead in our transgression and sin when we used to follow the prince of this world. And he made us do all manner of things. And then he says, but Christ in his mercy and grace, he sent his son to die on the cross for us. And if Corinthians somewhere talks about, I'm not very good in quoting scriptures, but I will tell you what he says. That the God of this world has blinded many, that they may not be able to get the simplicity of the message of Christ. So as much as we are talking about healing from pain and domestic violence and what happens, I can assure you, Elsie, we cannot do it without Christ. Because you cannot heal, you cannot change the devil with the devil.
The way they say, dawa ya moto ni moto.
It is either we are two. We are only two.
Yeah.
You are either God powered or devil powered.
Yeah.
So you cannot be devil powered and expect the devil to help you heal from pain he inflicted on you. Because who has brought brokenness? Who has brought pain? It is the devil. It's the devil who is the greatest cause of families not being able to be run in a godly way. So then how can I take out God from the picture and still expect that there is some healing that is going to happen? And that's why you realize people who have healed minus God, they are self-confident, they are self-aware, but they are arrogant and bitter.
So there's something incomplete about your healing if it is without God.
Yes, I'll say that confidently as a counselor who is born again. Mm-hmm. I hear people saying, now you need to pray counseling. Me, I am a counselor who is born again.
Who is born again and preaching the gospel.
Yes. I cannot be a counselor and separate counseling from my being born again.
Yeah, of course, Jesus is the wonderful counselor, and you look up to him.
So yes, I'll bring my understanding of counseling, but the game changer is Christ.
So to a physically abusive couple, the first step is just to know who they are, and of course who they are in God.
It is not easy. You may not be able to know by yourself. So seek counsel, seek help, seek counseling from a godly counselor. Because if you go anywhere else, you will be taught a lot of things. You'll be very knowledgeable in the mind, but not healed in the heart. So you'll be taught all the things to do, the techniques and everything, and do this and do the other, and don't do this, don't touch there. That will happen. But if the heart, because remember, sin is a problem of the heart. And sin is the cause of all this. Alcoholism, corruption, money embezzlement, everything. Those issues come from the heart. So it doesn't matter how brilliant I am or the school I went to or who I sat under during therapy. If my heart has not been transformed, I will not handle that domestic violence issue.
Okay.
In fact, what happens is, I stop domestic violence, but I become unfaithful.
Okay.
I stop unfaithfulness, I start taking alcohol. Because the problem is not with what I am doing, the problem is what is in my heart.
Okay. I hear you.
So to this couple, seek help, but seek godly counsel. The next thing is be aware that what you're doing has a grave impact on your children. And there is nothing else Elsie will live for other than for those 2 babies that you have.
Yeah.
That is the only treasure we will leave here. You see the cars and the houses and all these things we struggle to carry and work so hard for,
Yeah.
they have no eternal value. So the only one that are so treacherous and important is those kids.
Yeah.
But yet they are the ones we are hurting the most with our relationship.
Yes. Yes. And one day, of course, we will be accountable.
Yes, we will.
God.
We will. But you see, the issue is not whether I'll be accountable. The issue is the pain I will have caused them.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I'll be accountable to God. But what amount of pain will I have caused them in the next generation? Because it's not only them.
Yeah.
By hurting them, I hurt my grandchildren.
And great-grandchildren. Wow. So, this is so profound. It's real. It sounds so real. You know, the way you doing this affects even your 4th, 5th generation. Can you imagine that, the way we call it generational curse? For how long? For how long?
So just that awareness. And sometimes I look at life. If we are able to see the product, sometimes it's very easy to now want to change. But because pain has a way it blinds us. So you're so, and pain is selfish.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, pain is very selfish. It will talk about me. I'm the one who got her, you're the one. No, it's me. But it's not you. There are these children here.
Yeah.
What kind of people are you raising? Sometimes, yes, someone has done wrong. They have hurt me. But for the sake of the children I'm raising, I can be able to compromise. Or I can go look for that counselor who is going to come help me heal. Because I want to raise children who are not hurting like me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So that's why I was saying pain is very selfish.
Oh, true. True. Pain is very selfish. That's true. Just think of yourself. So, advise a mother, advise a father, advise a victim, a child, a teenager about this.
I'm very sorry because we are not trained to advise.
Oh,
we are trained to counsel.
You are trained to counsel. As a mother, we are as an adult.
I'll do counsel. I'll not advise.
Okay.
Because advice, you're supposed to choose whether to take it or not.
Yeah.
But counsel is guidance. This is what you're supposed to do, so that is what I do. I'll not advise.
Okay.
Go ahead. So, first we begin from the point of being able to answer the question, how did I find myself here? The second one is, maybe the both of you are not victims of violence, but one of you came from a family that had issues of violence. Please seek godly counsel. Go for counseling. We are now not in the times when people thought that counselors only see mad people.
Yeah.
At least that one we are getting out. Seek counsel. You will have saved generations by just being able to go through that counseling. And not only generations, you will save yourself. Remember the emotional effort you have to put to live with a person you keep beating every other day.
Yeah.
And you don't want that struggle. It's too much.
Yes.
So you want peace of mind. Some of those people that we may be talking to are even taking drugs, hypertension, diabetes, they're having joint pains, just because of carrying pain in their lives. So be intentional. Seek counsel. The other part, look at the generations you're raising. In your 80s, that person, in your 80s, what kind of children do you want to have raised? When I am saying this, allow me to say, and I'm not accusing parents in this case, most of people in delinquent behavior, especially from teenage, there is some form of pain that has happened. It doesn't have to be caused by the parent directly. It is that when we are so preoccupied now with our own pain, we are not able even to realize when our children are going through pain. So maybe a child might have been abused, but because I said pain is selfish.
Yeah.
So I'm so concerned about this fight we are having with my spouse, I'm not even seeing the pain my child is going through. And within no time, that child is carried away by the enemy. And also, as we are talking about this, allow me to say that the greatest enemy of man is the devil. So when you are fighting, just know it's not your spouse you are fighting. The problem is the devil. He's the one who wants to see chaos. He's the one who wants to see families that are not running right. He's the one who wants to have families that are full of bitterness and fight. It is not God. So, understanding that we are fighting with the devil, so even when my wife maybe is rude and using words that are very hurtful, I will know I am not fighting my wife. The enemy within is my enemy, because there is no single human being who is an enemy to the other.
Yeah. Okay.
Our only enemy is the devil.
Is the devil.
And the devil hates family. There is nothing the devil hates like family.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that, Anne. So you are a counselor. If this lady, this man, this child, this teenager wants to seek counsel, so how do they find you?
I think you can inbox even on the show. I am on social media also. Anne Karambu Mwangi. You can write an inbox. We'll be able to begin a conversation from there. And I believe we can be able to get solutions and answers. But what better place to begin, like on Child of Me show. So this is the place we are supposed to start seeking that help and support. And I believe we'll be willing to walk the journey.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Anne. Thank you so much. I believe this has been helpful. Yeah, so as a parent, you know you're not only affecting yourself and your child, but your future generation, the first, second, third, to even sixth generation, unless you begin to know who you are, you begin to seek change, and you begin to find your identity in Christ. Thank you so much for watching. And Anne, I can see you have some books here. I would like you to talk about one. Understanding your teenager. I love this. Wow. Because most of us believe or think that dealing with teenagers is so hard. Personally, I fear teaching Sunday school, especially this age. I fear teaching them.
This is my class. I'm also a Sunday school teacher, so I teach Sunday school in school. I've taught Sunday school for a long time. Yeah. So the book is Understanding Your Teenager, and it has to do with first understanding the mind of a teenager. Most of the fights that parents fight with teenagers, it's because we don't understand what is happening to them.
Yeah.
One, it is at this stage when the child is fighting their identity. And in the process of fighting their identity, they want to disconnect themselves from the identity of the parent or the caregiver. So on most occasions, how they will fight identity is by challenging your identity.
Yeah. Yeah.
So parents are not able to understand that aspect, and therefore they think they are disobedient. The other part is, of course, understanding the why that maybe they would want to get engaged in things like delinquent behavior. Okay. So all that is there, understanding how to choose careers. You remember we are in an age where parents want children to do their own careers. And I met with someone who told me the father wants them to do a course in food, and then they want teaching. Okay. Now, understanding career, because again, when you push somebody to something they're not passionate about, you're messing them more. The other one, of course, is understanding personalities of teenagers and why the different personalities behave the way they do. Yeah. So such content is what is here. And also nutrition. Remember, I'm a nutritionist, so there's a bit of nutrition, especially in the aspect of nutrition for the teenager that is in the book.
Wow. Sawa. So thank you so much. Anyone? This one is understanding and nurturing your teenager. And as she has said, you understand all aspects of your teenager so that you can be able to know how to handle them. So apart from that, I also have this, Dear Child of Mine. It's a 30 days affirmations book for your child, just to affirm your child, give them the confidence they need. And it also has Bible verses from day 1 to day 4. So there's an affirmation, a statement there supporting that affirmation, and then a Bible verse. This one will help your child to have the confidence, get to know who they are even in Christ, and Christ is the one that gives us identity. So a copy of this goes for only 650 shillings. And you can call the number down there if you want to get a copy. And you didn't tell us how much this book goes.
The book goes for 1,000 shillings.
Okay. So
they can, of course, get it through the same.
Yes, of course. If you need a copy, just chat and we'll give you the feedback. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye. If this content speaks to you, please subscribe, watch our videos, like and share. Thank you so much.